Welcome to the freaking after party. Today's 3 images from a television sent via fax is reserved exclusively for our Patreon supporters, which is you. All right. For those of you listening and or watching this video, we're hopefully going to fix a lot of what's about to happen in post, but let's see if I can screen share here because I'm
so excited. I don't know what's happening.
Oh no, you're about to see my, all right, let's do this one. You're about to see my desktop background, which is just a cute baby from the internet. Can you see that?
Is that really just a random child?
Yeah.
I can see the random cute baby. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I know this is sometimes a problem with Zoom, which is whether or not you're going to be able to hear the audio of what's about to happen. So just like, well, stop me if the video I'm about to play doesn't have audio, and then I'll just post the link. But there is a movie that we ended up not scheduling for this season of cyberpunk because it's not really cyberpunk, and also nobody wanted to talk about it. But I just figured this was as good a time as any to watch the hacking scene from the 2001 film Swordfish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes!
So since we're doing audio and video this season, I was like, maybe we can watch it together and we can just get your reactions. There are 2 incredible hacking scenes from this movie. We are not going to watch the one in which he is forced to hack at gunpoint while receiving oral sex. Instead, we are going to watch the one that is just Hugh Jackman ready for an EGOT, just doing it, just doing hacking in 2001. All right, let's see if this works. Like I said, please stop me right away if the audio isn't playing.
The audio isn't playing.
It is not playing. But
you know what?
Do we have to hear sound though? Can we just like watch it?
It's fine. Just the music is just do. Like it's that. It's just that.
Yes. Oh man, this movie's so good. It's so bad and it's so good.
I love dumb hacking scenes. I love all the dumb computer shit because like looking at a computer is really boring. So like Hollywood has had to figure out how to make it not boring by doing this shit. Oh, he's so happy.
He's giving himself a lot of affirmations like, yes. Oh, yes. Come on. Like that's
he's assembling port scan objects.
Oh obviously. My God. Whoops. You know what we didn't talk about with Johnny Mnemonic was that intro sequence of the text, of the wall of text.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That just reminded me visually of like the explanation for everything that we didn't understand.
I think I would have understood Johnny Mnemonic's character better if he had a single earring and a button-down shirt for his hacking. I mean, he was in a suit, but he was a courier, so I guess it's different.
Oh, Wolverine is so upset about something. Sorry.
Well,
I love that there's so many colors in this scene, and yet nothing is the color that it's supposed to be. It is like in the late 90s, everyone was just like, color can be whatever we want it to be because nothing means anything.
Exactly.
I also feel like this is in the same like hacking universe as the Nelly video where she's texting on a sidekick, but she's in the Excel program.
Yeah.
I'll link that video as well in the show notes.
Amazing. Oh, he's so happy.
He's getting there.
Also, I feel like that setup, the computer setup where the screens are like above, like they're just too high. Like it's just not actually conducive to working in any real way.
He completed
the
like,
look at that red wine.
Yeah, he's always drinking red wine when he hacks.
Oh hell yeah, same. I mean, I do the same thing.
So that was.
I can't believe we're not watching this movie. I'm so literally no one picked it. Like no one. We invited a bunch of people and they could like choose movies, and I'd never even heard of it before you brought it up. So what a bummer. Maybe. No, I'm not going to promise this. I was like, maybe we'll do a bonus, like a special bonus just of the movie.
I was doing like a cool, like me and my high school girlfriends like did a little reunion. We went away to a cabin for the weekend and I was like, y'all, let's watch Swordfish. And we didn't want to negatively impact any of our own Netflix algorithms. So we logged into someone's brother's Netflix and then just watched Swordfish. And I've like rewatched this scene so many times. The soundtrack, like it's not Darude, but it sounds like Darude. Maybe for our listeners, Rob will actually put the audio of the trailer under our reactions just then. But it's just beautiful. I'm glad we could share that moment.
Yeah. Well, okay,
Yeah.
I have a cyberpunk question.
Yeah.
What is one thing from any of cyberpunk movie or genre or whatever that you like wish was real? That you're like, no, this is dope. Like, what a cool thing.
I mean, this
That's
isn't
a really good question.
Yeah, like my first thought isn't about, it's just sci-fi, but like teleportation. I don't know. So I don't know if that actually answers your question.
No, but it's a good answer.
We do talk a lot about the problematic aspects of like the weird East Asian influence on cyberpunk, but I do love the ubiquity of noodle bars in cyberpunk. And I do wish that like there was like street food in general, actually, even be like is pretty good in every depict. Like everyone was kind of envisioning a future where it's raining all the time, but we're eating a lot of street food. And I feel like that is honestly something that we could work on and improve in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we in America, we are lucky to have such a huge immigrant population that has brought a lot of that here in little sort of pockets. Like LA has such a wealth of like taco trucks, right? Which is like what I would say is like LA's street food. But you go to other places and you're just like, man, you can just like grab like a shish kebab and like on your way to work in the morning or on your way home from work or whatever. Like we just don't have that kind of energy. So I am with that for sure. I think I want to be able to like jack in like the both in the Matrix and in the Mila Jovovich in this orange
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, right? Where you can just like implant information into your brain and just like know it all. I would love that.
Yeah. I would love that particularly for like languages, but then also dense lore of like large entertainment franchises where I don't want to watch this, but just download.
I just want to know all of it. But then what happens when everyone can do that? Then are we all just like, there's no, how does conversation happen? Like, do we all just know everything all the time? And so then we just stop communicating and sharing.
We become like an information oligarchy where you have to like, afford the chip space in your head.
See, we just came up with a fucking brilliant idea. Let's go pitch it.
The information oligarchy.
I guess it would be like people with SIM cards now, where it's like if you want to like do something illegal, you'd like swap out your like brain SIM card for a while and then like swap it back in. And
then the whole underground would be like, the learning is the journey, like that, like the journey is the way of like slowly learning things over time is what we should be like the Zen version of it. I don't know why I said Zen version. That's fucked up. But the like, the sort of mindful, be in the moment kind of energy. And I'm like, no, I just want to know. Just give me all the info.
I thought there was a movie that did that where like you wouldn't remember the crimes that you committed. Like you would have plausible deniability. But I realize I'm thinking of a different, like a clone movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is it The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Yes.
The movie rips.
There's a lot of great. Like, I never did that. And then there's footage of him doing it. And what did he? Well, it's a clone.
Yeah, the movie's very bad. I should be very clear. The movie's terrible, but the movie is great if you're looking for a bad movie. It is really interesting that like in a lot of these movies, what the people choose to do with like their body modification is just like not what people do now with body modification. It's like it's all just becoming like very strong and like powerful, and it's like that's not what people do in real life with body mods at all. Or like the woman in Johnny Mnemonic, her muscles are all jacked up for some unexplained reason, which is not really what we're doing with it in real life, I guess.
Yeah, but
but that's because
the least of the movies.
I was like, but that's because you don't live in the world of spies and assassins, because if you did, then that would be your body mods.
True.
I feel like you have a very limited worldview.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, as you were talking, I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense because these are all action movies, or like they try to be action movies that are like predicated on the physicality of things. But like, what would we body mod now in like if body mods existed in like the world today where we all just like fucking sit and work and then maybe like go to a movie occasionally or whatever, I'm not describing my life at all. How would a body mod benefit that?
It's the biggest blind spot of all cyberpunk. None of them predicted what furries would be. No one, the most cyberpunk thing in real life is a furry, and there's no elaborate cyberpunk fursuit people walking around in the background in any of these movies. And I think that's the shit.
That's Ice-T's character in Tank Girl.
In Tank Girl. I know, as soon as I saw Ice-T in this, I was like, fuck, why aren't we talking about Tank Girl? And I was like, is Tank Girl cyberpunk? And I was like, I don't think it's cyberpunk, but it has a fond place in my heart. I was such a dork. I used to wear tube socks on my arms. Like, I was a
that's
nerdy
cool.
teenager. Yeah,
I mean, did Google Glass try to do that, like the body modification, like not that you would have it implanted necessarily, but that minute where it was like, yeah, you're always going to have your information read out as
they definitely tried
reality.
to like, yeah. And like contacts are body mod, like UTI, not UTIs, IUDs.
Yeah.
I got an IUD last year and I was like, I'm a cyborg, but I literally, we put things in our bodies, pacemakers or like plates, like metal plates and stuff. Like we have stuff like that we don't think of as body modifications, but because they're not cool. Although I would argue that my IUD is fucking awesome because I don't have cramps for the first time in my entire adult life. And what a fucking amazing. Yeah. Thank you. But we don't think of them that way, right? Because they're mostly to try and stop us from dying or whatever. Yeah. But like, you know what I really want? I want a little screen on my arm that tells me how my body is doing. Like I want so you don't have to get blood work done. You don't have to whatever. It'll just tell you like your liver is really mad at you today. Stop drinking or whatever. Right. Like you're deficient and or what have you.
Right.
That's what I want.
Yeah. It's interesting how like all the body mod stuff in these movies is very based on like the 80s and 90s idea of like cars or you can make your own body mods, whereas in real life it's like, oh no, if I had a thing in me that said to stop drinking, it would tell my insurance company and then I'd be cut off of my insurance, and then like Apple would close out my credit card. It's like you don't have the like Henry Rollins guys in real life yet, although I feel like it's on the horizon for sure.
Yeah I mean, that's the reality of all of this is like I would never do any of it because, well, that's not true. I do things on my phone and my computer that I know are not like safe from corporations bullshit, but like my thought is like body mods will be like a corporate endeavor and you're going to sign terms of service that's going to like let them take all that data, which we do when you put smart devices all over your home, right? Like that's like body mods for your house.
I've got 4 doses of 5G in me right now.
Yeah
So on that note,
okay,
quick question though, just to completely change course, is Crank cyberpunk?
Oh man, that movie's so good.
Like, because
what is it? Okay, do you need to caveat that though?
Well, just
I mean, I'm not sure.
When you were saying like the readout of how your body's doing, my thought, like I take my blood pressure and I was like, oh, like if it told me like how my blood pressure was doing, and I immediately pictured myself as like a Chev Chelios, Jason Statham, just got to keep my blood pumping, got to keep my blood rate at a certain level. Like it's a little bit of a body action body thriller. Like is that not body horror, but
there's definitely body horror in it, and like Crank 2 I think even more so, but like there's definitely like that sweaty grimy body horror vibe to it, even though it's an action movie. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think so.
But glossy, like it's
I feel like there's cyberpunk seepage into other genres. Absolutely. Like I asked a friend, I was like, because I was like, oh, is Tank Girl cyberpunk? Like it doesn't really feel like it. And they were like, it's more like gear punk or so, or like Mad Max. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, okay, well now we're getting into like subs of subs that I can't track.
Yeah.
So
well, we were talking about Cronenberg before we started recording today, but would Videodrome be cyberpunk or like VHS punk? Like I don't
saw Videodrome. VHS punk.
Well, I do love the aesthetic. Yeah, I love that aesthetic though. Like Alien has like spaceships that are run by VCR and CTR TVs, and it's like, or CRT TVs. It's like it is kind of cool looking, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the nostalgia factor for us because we grew up in a time where that stuff was real, Like
Right.
I was with young children and we walked past a phone booth and you know, like trying to explain to them what a phone booth was very peculiar.
Yeah, it would be
It's hard to
interesting to
conceptualize.
have like a 21-year-old watch this movie and have no touch point to any of it. Like they would be like, oh, is this what you guys thought VR was going to be? Like maybe they would ask that, but they wouldn't be looking at it and be like, that's old tech. They'd be like, none of this exists. Like,
yeah. And I feel like too, like there's the, and this happens for us with previous generations, but like, there's the stuff like it's not like kids today, like older, like teens to 20s, like it's not like they don't know about like cassette tapes and VHS, right? But like they didn't live with it, so it's kind of like 8-track for us, right? Or like gramophones or whatever, you know, like where you're like, like I understand the concept, but I was in a conversation one, I forget what it was, but we started talking about like call waiting and like 3-way calling and like, you know, you don't like star 69 to find out who called you last. And like when that technology developed and like everybody in that call, other than me and my friend, were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it's little details that you don't surface. And, you know, I wonder how much of that is in some of these movies that people would go over their heads because it's such a specific reference.
I mean, the facts, I feel like that's probably the biggest issue for people now is like, what is he doing with the phone and the printer?
Yeah.
I don't know if they connect the two.
Yeah.
I was using faxes at work in 2011. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember. Yes. I worked in an office in 2011 that it did have a fax machine and we had to fax certain things, but like that was kind of the last year I think I remember seeing one.
I remember in the 90s, my dad was trying to get people to like switch to email because he had just started doing like network engineering stuff. And they were like, what email? We have fax. Why would you do fax works just fine. Right. Like that transitional period was really, you know, as early adopters, like it just wasn't catching until it caught everywhere, you know?
There's some meme that's been circulating in my millennial circles of internet that are like, born too late to own property, born too soon to, I don't know, whatever the fuck kids do, and just in time to like spend 99 cents on a ringtone.
Yeah.
Or
amazing.
What was it called when your ringer would be different?
Ringback tone?
Yeah.
Those were cool.
Like,
all the drug dealers in my hometown had really good ringback tones. All the guys who were selling weed in high school had like the best ringback tones.
Amazing. All right, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This was super fun.
Absolutely.
I got to talk about all of my favorite movies. Swordfish, Sixth Day, now Johnny Mnemonic. Oh, it's a great time for me.
What a movie. Don't watch it. Okay. Oh, we're you know what? We're gonna have to find the Japanese, like the original version of this movie. Like I would watch that in a group setting.
Yeah.
I would download the knowledge of it into my brain without having
Yeah. Maybe I could watch it on like 5 times speed and then just get it over and done with.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks for
everyone.
listening. Bye.
Bye.